Setting up or configuring an IP camera might sound daunting because it typically requires understanding of basic concepts such as IP addressing and some knowledge of IP network structure. We offer a crash course on these concepts in a separate video clip available on Sigmax's website. In this video, we will show you how Sigmax's system makes the task of configuration much easier to handle by integrating camera search, utility tools, and a straightforward user interface. We assume you have knowledge of the IP address and the subnet mask assigned to the system, and also the IP camera to be configured has been physically connected to the system via a switch and powered on. Now, we can begin to set up a Vivotek IP camera. The first thing to do is to change the IP address of the camera to be configured with that of the system. Let's get started by clicking on Sys Setup button to enter setup mode. Then click on the camera tab on the right. Now move the mouse cursor to the left side and choose one of the available IP camera icons. In the camera name box, you can edit the camera's name. Here we name it Vivotek Dome. From the Make drop-down box, we choose a Vivotek. And from the Model drop-down box, move the mouse cursor all the way down and choose the last option, Search Cameras. This brings up the Installation Wizard 2 window. Click on Next to proceed to the next screen. If Continue Setup Without Internet window pops up, click OK to dismiss it. On the Device Selection window, a model FD8134 shows up. Double-click this model, then scroll down and click on the configuration option on the left. On the left, choose Network. By default, LAN is selected. Then, choose the second option, Use Fixed IP Address, and type in the IP address, subnet mask, and default gateway. Here we type in 192.168.1.21, 255.255.255.0, and 192.168.1.1 respectively. Click the Save button and wait a few seconds for the camera to be configured. When the progress window goes away, you need to manually close the Internet Explorer window together with the Installation Wizard 2 window. Now you are back to the camera section and the setup. At this point, we have just assigned a fixed IP address to the camera. Now it is time to assign this IP camera with the software. From the model drop-down list, select the correct model that matches the camera. In our example here, it is FD8134. In the IP box, type in 192.168.1.21, which is the address we assigned to the camera earlier. The port, by default, is 80 for this model. For the resolution box, 1280 by 800 is the highest resolution that this camera offers. For the FPS, frames per second, 5 is a recommended value for this model. With all the necessary parameters in place, you can now click on the refresh button to establish a connection between the camera and the NER software. Live video images should be shown shortly. Select the Enable checkbox to activate this camera. Finally, exit Setup to Live View and remember to save the changed settings. This concludes the process of how to set up an IP camera in Sigmax's system.